Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Welcome. Thank you very much for coming before us today and bringing your great family. Terrific. Glad that they're here. So let's get down to basics. Under Article 3, is your loyalty to the law and Constitution or to the president who nominated you?
Under both Article 3 and Article 6, the constitutional oath, the oath is to faithfully follow the laws that apply in a given case.
And the Constitution?
Absolutely.
Is the executive branch required to follow the orders of a federal court?
So, of course, this is an issue before the Supreme Court right now, and what I heard the Solicitor General say is how I understand the law as well, which is if there's a judgment issued by a court as to the parties, that absolutely binds the parties, and the way to go about your business if you disagree with an order is to seek maybe a stay or emergency relief or appellate review.
And after you've exhausted all of those opportunities, is the executive branch of our government required to follow the orders of the federal court?
Yes, if the Supreme Court issues an order at the end of the appellate review process, that order is to be followed as to the parties in the case.
Ms. Hermendorfer, I'm a little bit interested in the decision that you and the state of Tennessee made to file an amicus brief in the Supreme Court in the case of Trump versus Casa. That case involved challenges to President Trump's unconstitutional executive order that purports to end birthright citizenship. President Trump's executive order has been blocked by a judge appointed by President Ronald Reagan, who said, and I quote, "I've been on the bench for over 4 decades. I can't remember another case where the question presented was as clear as this one. This is a blatantly unconstitutional order," referring to the order to end birthright citizenship. The state of Tennessee was not a party to that case. You filed this amicus brief voluntarily, and you reached a conclusion which the court ruled the most blatantly unconstitutional order in decades. Why?
So, of course, we were amicus in the case, and the decision was made by the Attorney General, reflecting the values of Tennesseans, that we were not satisfied that all of the information regarding the contemporaneous meaning of the 14th Amendment was being presented to the various courts, given that the litigation was proceeding so quickly and at such a pace through the TRO and PI process. So our role as amicus, as is any amicus's role, which was to bring additional information that could be helpful to the court's attention. And what we did there was draw the court's attention to contemporaneous 1800s era sources regarding the meaning of the 14th Amendment. And I will note, Ranking Member Durbin, that even in courts that disagreed with the president's executive order, Tennessee's amicus brief was called out in particular as especially well written and mentioned by the judges in the hearing. So I'm hopeful that we provided helpful information as the court considered its decision, which is all you can ask, is to ensure the court has all the information before it as it deliberates.
Did you agree with President Trump on this issue?
So the brief did not take an ultimate position with regard to the merits of the executive order. What it did was say the notion that this is an open and shut case is hard to square with the contemporaneous evidence and executive branch practice in the latter 1800s interpreting the meaning of the citizenship clause. And so I stand by completely those arguments and the historical sources that we advanced to the court.
You heard my opening remarks, perhaps, when I related my experience with the so-called Federalist Society. I asked judicial nominee after nominee, why do you belong to this group? Well, it became pretty clear because this was the secret handshake, the calling card, if you wanted to be considered favorably to be a Republican nominee for a federal judgeship. Well, they seem to have fallen on disfavor with President Trump. Leonard Leo has been characterized by the president as a sleazebag, and he went on to say some other negative things about the Federalist Society. So now there's a new operation called the Tenio Network. Are you familiar with the Tenio Network?
Yes, Ranking Member Durbin.
Do you realize it was created by that same old sleazebag, Leonard Leo?
I don't think I was aware of that.
What is it?
The Teneo Network, and I am a member as disclosed on my SJQ. I'm a new member, so I haven't had too much involvement, I will say. My understanding is that it's similar to the Federalist Society in that it's kind of a debating network and a networking group where individuals from across industries can get together and discuss the issues of the day and get insights into what challenges might be facing various industries.
What? Listen, you must lead a pretty busy life. Your professional responsibilities, your family responsibilities. Why would you want to join this network so you can, well, describe for me, why would you want to join this network?
So it was commended to me by colleagues, and I'm always interested as a Tennessean in connecting with other Tennesseans to discuss the issues of the day. I have not had any meaningful involvement given that I believe I was asked to join or invited to join a week or so before I was informed that I was receiving the nomination. And so I haven't attended since then any sort of events or been involved.
Thank you.